Hello, I'm
Hello.
Christina, and I'm here with Martina, and we're your podcast hosts for Everyday Ordinary Extraordinary Women. We are deep divers and avid students of life and powerful facilitators for healing. In real life, I'm an intuitive healer, and I love to blend massage therapy with energy work to provide customized holistic services for my clients.
And I'm a life coach specializing in parent and women empowerment. And I am also a sound healer. And both Christina and I incorporate crystals and essential oils and angelic Reiki, and of course, intuitive guidance into our work.
We were inspired to create this podcast after pondering this question: what would a world look like where we can be inspired by every person? Usually, we're very quick to compare and judge ourselves and others. And when we do that, everybody's losing. Depending on my point of view, I can either feel small because I come out lacking, or arrogant and dismissive because I feel superior. Those are the only two options from that perspective, and neither of those options make us feel very good. So here's our thought: someone's everyday normal is someone else's extraordinary. Judgment comes from our first impressions. So we invite you, the listener, to go beyond your first impressions and see the magic everywhere. There's inspiration at every corner, in everyone, if we're willing to look. And today we are happy to welcome Liliana to the program. So Liliana, please we are welcome you to the program and introduce yourself.
Hello. Yes, my name is Liliana. I'm from Venezuela. Now I live in New York. And I'm a hairstylist. That's what I do for a living. I do hair and try to make everyone's happy every day. It makes it pretty. And I also do weddings. I do brides and I do the whole party and make all year round. I do weddings. I work in the salon, and that's what I do, making everyone's happy and pretty. And what else? And I'm very spiritual. I'm a very spiritual person. I became very spiritual for the past 5 years that have changed my life for better. I have found peace and happiness with myself and the way that I wish every human can go through that. And that's it. That's all I got for now.
Well, you're also a mom of two grown
And I
boys,
also
right?
mom two big boys. They're men now. One is 27 and 28 years old. And they're all grown up and all big boys. I call it boys, but they're men.
Well, they're always going to
For
be your
my
boys.
eyes, they look like boys. I don't know why. They never grow.
They're always going to be your boys.
Yeah.
So Liliana, who you are for me is just this bright light, and when I met you, I think it's 4 years ago,
Yes.
because a friend of mine recommended you, and I was looking for a hairdresser, and you're just this bright light and so committed to making a difference in people's lives as you are cutting their hair and just taking care of themselves, which is just so beautiful. And of course, I love going to the hairdresser because I always walk out and I feel just
Feels good.
great. Right?
Yes, that
Great.
positive.
Even though every time we have the question, more? Yes, more. Martina, do you really want more? Yes, more. Shorter, 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 right?
But I know, right? I'm like, oh gosh, that's short. But it looks good on you.
So I am so happy to have you here today.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy too.
Liliana, if we really knew you, what would we know about you?
In what way? Like more like me as a human being?
Whatever.
Well, it is hard for me to say in a couple minutes. But my life had changed. So the person who I was before, I would think from the first 45 years of my life, I was I was not myself 100%, seeing who I am today. I was, it was like my soul was there and it was taking a ride with my body. And my
Mhm.
body was deciding what to do based off what everybody else was doing and the metric totally deep end. And having this waking up um, uh, um, process that happens to me unexpected. I didn't I didn't have any control of it. I don't even know this even exists. I had changed my life. The first year was painful. It was more like removing layers from my 45 years of my life. They were not real. That's how I feel. It was not like um, life was all what was all about, but I guess it was a part of having life experience. And I guess that was one of my purpose, not knowing. And now I live my life totally different. It's like I born 5 years ago. It's like I reborn 5 years ago. And the person who I am today, I'm in control totally of my body and my mind. And it's totally, and it's my soul who is in power of everything that I do. And I find myself to be a better human being in so many ways. And I think everyone is that, but if they're not in control of their bodies and mind, they're, I guess that's one thing that I'm questioning, right? To keep doing those mistakes and those um, um, crazy things in their life. They do it every day, the decisions they make. And then I wonder if it's this, myself too. I wonder if because we're supposed to do it to live and learn, or we just do it because we're being guided by the metric world, you know? But the thing is, today, I'm a happy person. I'm a better person, and I see everything much clearer, like about human, when everything, what the universe is all about, by nature, so like everything. Just like it's like I have my glass on me, 24/7, and I become lighter, like understand about why everything happens, which they give me peace. I'm not suffer anymore, like about what's going on in the world, you know. A little bit, it's like I don't want to watch it, but I guess it's just meant to be based on the, you know, each individual person's life experience. The same was mine, but today I'm in a better, much better place. It's totally new. I'm in like I reborn. I'm like 5 years old with this new experience, and I like it. I like that I would be able to live the experience in this life. You know, like I didn't die the way I was living life before. Like I feel lucky that I it's happening to me. You know,
So
so I
many
said
good nuggets in there, Liliana. And
yes.
it's funny, right before you came on the call, Martine, I was telling Martine I was reading a new book by Rebecca Campbell. She does a lot of oracle decks and she's written a few books. But she's talking a lot about this one, about like these different awakenings that we go through in life. And then we go through these dark periods too. And that it's like being in like the womb where we're rebirthing ourselves. And we'll do it over and over through our lifetimes, right? But
Yeah.
the more we learn and the more we grow, the more we learn that we really don't know anything, right? Like
Yes, life like every
the more we
day.
learn to
And
be
you say
empty-headed
every day, I thought I knew it all. No, no, nothing.
yeah. And it just made me laugh this morning when I was reading that. It's like, oh yeah, the more I learn and know, the more I learn I don't know anything, right? And
Right.
it's such a better place to be. Because then you're open
Yeah.
to curiosity and wonder and what
Of
is
course. Yes.
the day bringing me? What's the world bringing me? Like
Right.
instead of being
Yes.
attached to our hopes and our dreams and then being pissed off when they don't turn out that way.
I know. That's another one.
Yeah.
And
You do that.
magic too, right? Magic. Like
Mhm.
Yes,
if we're standing in that curiosity, it's an opening for magic too.
For
right,
sure. Yeah. The other thing you were talking about was being led by your body. And it's something that Dr. Joe Dispenza talks a lot with his meditations is that that's how most people are. We start our day like, I have to pee and now I'm
right,
hungry. And
right,
it's our body. That's all we do all day. So that's why it's so important to
right,
meditate, to do
right,
yoga, to have that body mind connection where we can tell our body, not right now. I'm meditating right now.
right.
And instead of reacting to our body's messages all day long. It's a different way to live your life, but clearly one that's bringing you much more joy at the moment. So that's pretty powerful.
Yes, yes, definitely. Yes, I like that guy, Joe Dispenser. I kind
So
of follow him on Instagram. I listen to him sometimes.
yeah,
Yeah, he's,
I love
he,
listening to him. His meditations are challenging to me. The whole like pumping up the energy from
I
it,
know.
it's so counterproductive to how I feel meditation or the meditation I like. And
Yeah,
so it's like, pump, clench my muscles. But it's I think taking on something that does challenge you like that is fun too at times too, because
right.
the meditation I did in the past got me to here, but you know, I need something different now, right? So
Well,
I know.
the other thing is it frazzles your mind, right? Because it's so different. So and what the mind does, and you know that when we trained in hypnosis, right? It's like it gets then so confused that it shuts down, right?
yep.
Yes,
It's actually a really easy way into meditation because it's so like the mind gets so like oh,
I know.
it turns up, right? So
It's especially if you're having a crazy day, you know, it's just like
exactly.
to shut it off. Yes, I find myself doing that, but I try to do it not like after work. Definitely it's impossible. Even is the best way to, to calm yourself down. But I like to do it on my days off. Like it
Hmm.
takes me, my days off, I go through like the day and then I'm ready. I feel like I can get ready to like be in peace and meditate. Yes, that's one of the things that I like to. I like to meditate. That's one of the things I didn't know how to do it either. I started 5 years ago. Like that's one of the things that I was like, I need to meditate. Like, and then I went away for 3 days to like what are you calling? It
A
was like
retreat.
a retreat, but only to meditate for 3 days. And there was one day that you cannot talk for 24 hours with nobody, no phone, well, no phones for 3 days. But you can have people like on the retreat next to you, but you cannot talk to anybody. You just eat, and that was tough. That was one of the toughest things. And then 6 o'clock in the morning, we were meditating. It was deep because I had no idea how to do it. Like I didn't know anything. Like what is meditation? So I felt like, you know what, let me just go with someone and be surround people that go with the same energy and thought and idea. And then it was great. By Sunday, I was like, wow, I'm good to go. It was very, very strong. 3 days, it was a lot, but it was good in the end. I learned how to
Yeah.
meditate. Like it was tough. Like that's not easy. Like it's not
That's not
easy
what
to
we're
learn
trained
it.
to do. We're not trained to stop and get quiet
Exactly.
and
Exactly.
it's so counterintuitive to most of us. But how incredible that your first experience was at a workshop like that, because being in a room with a whole bunch of people meditating,
Right.
that collective consciousness takes you to such a deeper level.
Right.
So it's really powerful and really good stuff. Yeah.
Yes. That was a good experience. And since then, even the way you sit in, like everything, like there's not a specific way, just your body and whatever you feel connected. And every detail, like it was great to do that. And I feel like I want to do that at least once a year. I kind of like the whole retreat thing. Like it was a good experience. It makes me, and the people were on the same page. That even make it even better. It was like, I don't know, it was like I was charging my batteries. By Sunday, I was like so light and so good to come back home. And for 3 days, I turned off everything. Like we were the only humans on Earth.
So good.
Yeah.
So Liliana, I'm gonna give you the icebreaker question. Tell us a silly or embarrassing story about yourself.
Oh, there's so many. Embarrassed. Let me see. I don't know how big or small I'm allowed to say. Um, there's nothing coming in my mind. Like maybe give me an idea. Let's see. In
So
what way?
there's a common theme of people tripping and falling,
Uh,
leading to some funny ones. Had some accidents and fires and
mm,
People
well,
making up stuff, not understanding and then just making up stuff. Like
right.
that one as well.
No, why it's not coming nothing in my mind? Like I'm a perfect human.
I guess you are. And that's fine. It's fine. We can come back. You can, maybe something
if
comes to
if one
mind later.
bubbles up in your head, you could tell us.
Yeah.
Imagine. Oh God. Well,
So
one thing I can like it's maybe not silly, nothing related to that, but it's more like about me as a person.
Yeah.
I realize it more and more, which I wish I can change it, but I don't know if I should change it. But it's driving me insane. It's hard for me to finish something.
Mm,
I get bored, and I love the idea to finish it. But when I know what is going to be the end, I don't want to finish. And that happens to
mm,
me with books. I love to paint. Since I went through this spiritual awakening, for some reason I know how to paint, but I cannot finish the painting. Like I
mhm,
look at it every day and I'm like, okay, I just need one more thing to do. Why I cannot just finish it? It's just something. And I tried to figure it out. My whole life, I always knew that. My father always knew that. But now that I'm like, okay, I'm aware 100%. And I say to myself, it is the toughest thing for me to finish. But I love that feeling of finish something. And it's something that I don't know. It's like everything is like every book I have, I don't finish the last couple of pages. And then I say, wait a minute, stop. Why can't you keep going? And then I look at it and then I look at it and I say, I want to know the end. And I almost do that in movies. Like it just don't know why. It's like I guess what it is in the end and it's boring. I don't know. That's one thing that's just driving me insane about
funny one. That's a good one. It's
that's so
very
good.
curious. So I can relate in some ways. I chalk it up to being an Aries. I don't know if that's how it lives for you, Martina, but I'm terrible at finishing projects.
What
You
is it with that, right?
I don't know. I truly am. I've been cleaning my desk for 2 weeks and it's not completely finished yet.
But you want it, right? You do
I
want it
want
finished.
it finished.
It
It just
bothers you that you like look at it and you're like, why? I can just finish that.
yeah.
Like I want to finish it.
So yeah, so part of it I think is a self-sabotage, right? Like I get to beat myself
Hmm.
up by
Right.
not having it finished.
Yes.
Um,
Like I can finish things that are not that important, but something really matters, like reading a great book, I don't finish it. But if I go to school and they make me finish it, I will finish it. But
mm,
doing it myself, it's just no, it's just halfway. Like I have different ideas and I started it and then I'm like, why I can just finish? I get bored. I don't know. Those are questions that I have today and every day.
something you can
it's a
journal
very
on.
interesting, it's an interesting question, right? It's like what has
Yes.
you? What
And
What
there's
is
so
it?
many possibilities of what, maybe it's about completion, like you don't like finishing something because then you'd have to take on the next project. Or
Mm,
maybe you just don't like endings. Maybe something ended in your past and it was upsetting and you don't like things to end.
no,
Like,
no,
who knows, right? Like, it could be a
right,
lot of things, but it could be
right.
a fun thing to journal on for a while and see what comes up like around completing things.
I know. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
maybe if you
Or
want
Maybe.
to
maybe
finish the journaling.
Maybe if I want to finish it.
not.
So,
And then
Liliana, you said a little bit that you were so filled up after meditating. Just in general, what fills you up in everyday life, right? It's like you cannot go every day to a retreat to meditate. Ideally, that would be very nice, right? To go and
yeah, that would be great.
to a silent retreat.
I like the idea of being away from the metric world.
Yeah.
I had
So
this.
what fills you up?
I wish I can be away 100%. Like it's just not. I don't connect anymore with the daily life. It's, I used to connect, and I used to. My lifestyle was like I I end up open 3 different business because I want to like that's what I call success. And then everything to do with the metric, I was in thinking that that's what happiness goes, thinking that that's what you're supposed to do when you live. I don't know. I was, and then I never took vacation. I opened a store, a clothing store, and then I opened 2 different hair salons, 2 different times. And I was tired every day. I work 7 days a week, and I have my kids, single mom, and I was doing it everything nonstop, thinking that I want to be on top, make money, be able to do this, and then that was my goal in life, but I was not living my way to compare. What I think today, how I was living, I was rushing to do something, to do what? It was like, but then I think, you know what? It's okay. I live and I learn that lifestyle, what is to be human and be in the metric. I live it and then I understand. But now I'm in another, now I take time off. I never take days off and it feels good. Now I don't feel guilty. Like I feel lazy.
Yeah.
It was like, no, you cannot take time off. I was reading all this book and listening to all these guys in business. You wake up at 5 and work out and start your day because you don't sleep. Like I was sleeping 6 hours, never take time off. I was in that lifestyle, and I'm like, oh my god, I end up with just being tired and drained, and it was an experience which I'm not uh regret. But the way I live my life today, it's just beautiful. Like
Mm.
I don't know if it's because the way I look at it, but now I can enjoy a day off and I don't feel guilty. I don't know. It just, and that to me is like, and then I can take it back then. It's no way I can do any meditation. It's that part of the plan. Meditation is like taking a nap. It was like, no, you're not supposed to relax. You're not supposed. You just keep going, make money, and do this.
There's no time for that.
It's no time for that. I was reading this book that I never finished. Thank God.
So how do you recharge your batteries? You meditate?
I meditate and I paint
Okay.
Mhm.
and I spend time alone
Awesome.
and just be, just being. I can look at my window and look at the sky and just get lost with I never looked at the sky before. It's insane. I never appreciate nature.
Yeah.
I don't even know. I can connect to a plant or the moon. I had this thing with the moon. I don't know where this coming from. It's just I look at the moon and I feel like this connection, and I'm like, wow, this is like beautiful energy. I never felt that before, and it just happened naturally. And it's that I'm living this new experience that I had it around me my whole life, and I don't even know it exists, you know. And that's how I recharge my battery. I put the phone away. I put it on the drawer. Everybody, they know me. They know I do that, so they don't take that personal. And then I say, well, I go back to you when I check, and then and then that's how I disappear from the outside world in my home, and that's why it's hard for me to be in a relationship. I've been alone and single for 5 years. I don't know if I can. Maybe I can go back to be with somebody one day, but I don't have that need anymore. Like I just I feel like I'm enough with myself. Like I discovered something about being with me, dating myself and connect with me. I feel like I never had it. Like, oh my God. And now that's my recharge. Like that's what makes me feel good. Like my days off. Those are the
Yeah.
days. Yeah.
And yay, you, because the best person to be in a relationship is yourself.
Myself.
And, you know,
That's why I understand that you're not living with him. Like when you said that, and I'm like, you good the way you are. In my
but
mind, it's
yeah,
like
but here's the
let
thing, Liliana, now that that's the space you're in, who knows? Maybe the right guy might come along because you don't need him, right? He could
right,
just be an accessory because
right,
your life is perfect the way it is.
right.
And then, and
I don't
just
know
like,
how long I'm gonna feel like this, but
yeah, but
yeah,
now you can start doing that work. You can start creating what does that man look like? What are the qualities that you would want? And you just
right.
start thinking about that, not like physical qualities,
No,
but you could put
no.
that a little bit of that into. But
Yes, I always
really
I always
start,
say that.
what are
Yeah,
the
my
qualities you
biggest
want in
thing
him?
my
And then
biggest thing is
they'll pop
a
into your
good
world.
man, a good
They'll
man.
pop into your world somewhere. Who knows? He may be a friend of a friend. Maybe he's the guy who
Right.
stops on the side of the road because you have a flat tire. Like, who
I
knows
know. Who knows?
where
Right.
he will show up?
Yeah.
But yeah, but you've done that
My soulmate.
groundwork. You've done the groundwork. Now it's the time for him to show up. So,
Yes, there
all
has
right,
to
we're
be
gonna
someone in the same kind of
heads.
mindset that
Yeah,
I have.
absolutely. But that's what
Yeah,
you're manifesting because that's the work you're doing too right now, and
right,
that's
right.
what attracts them to you. So,
Yeah.
kudos. All right, I'm gonna give you a multi-part question here. So,
Okay.
what made you who you are today? So, for example, what was your biggest lesson, or what took the most courage, or when did you stand for something that really mattered to you?
Stand for someone really matters to me.
That's like something that mattered to you, like a project or a something
A
that you're
project
passionate
that I never finished. No, no,
about.
no. No. Wait. Repeat the first two questions.
Yeah. So, what
The,
made you who you are today?
uh,
So, for example, like what was your biggest lesson that you've learned, or something that took the most courage to do, or a time you took a stand for something that really mattered to you?
well, after look, it's coming from since I was little into today. I was lucky, and I'm still lucky that I had this great father. My father is a person who has supported my my oh my God, everything, every decision, mistakes that I've been made my whole life, and be there for me. He's been like the greatest. Maybe that's why I never met a man like him, because I compare everyone like him. He's an amazing human being, and um why I get lost with your question. Wait, what was the question again?
What made you who you are today?
My father. No. Um, um, so he did a great thing with me since I was a little to allow me to make my decisions and make my mistakes. And him be there to pick me up again and try to guide me as much as he can. But he allows me to like be me and even opinions. And so it was a good thing in one part of my life, but also bad. And not bad, I cannot call it bad, but it was, I took a lot of risk. I'm a risk taker, and taking risks and not have fear. I have no fear, like no fear of dying, because we don't really die, but I'm not afraid to anything or anyone since I was child. So I don't know how I didn't die when I was a kid. I was always on the roof somehow and jumping from roof to roof, tree to tree. I was eating mango on the top of the tree. And I don't know, I was like a cat. I never had fear of falling, I get hurt and get up again. So I have taken a lot of risks. And for that reason, I got hurt a lot. But they all were a lot of good experiences. But I went through, I think that makes me who I am today, because all the risk and pain that I went through in my life, included my father than my kids. He was my biggest pain. And I think he was sent it with that purpose. That's the way I look at it today. Back then, I hate him. Today, I just look at it like, okay, he was sent it to make me go through this pain and experience and make me understand it and not feel pain the way I used to feel it. And he was one of my biggest, my business that I own were experiences, the stupid metric thing, and which was good. I learned how to be with humans and people and employees, and to understand how to. I learned so much, and being in the hair business, I learned so much how to understand people, like all ages, and analyze them, and make them, try to make them happy in 30 minutes. So and I have learned, it's been like a roller coaster for me, learning. And my biggest thing was my ex-husband, and because he never stopped loving me, but not, I don't call that love, more like obsessed. And he never wanted me to leave him, but he was not a good person. So he used my kids. He knows that my kids are my everything. So he always used my kids for me to suffer. So he used my kids as for me to always suffer. And wow, I don't like why I didn't kill myself at one point, or why I didn't die in the process. I'll end up in a crazy lunar, what do you call that? Crazy home.
The loony bin.
Lunar bin. So yes, I survived to all that, and I find myself, it's like after all that, I don't have hate towards him or anyone that I have, tried to do anything to me. And I find myself, it's a, thanks to all those experiences, I'm a better person today. Yeah, and a stronger person, you know. Back then I never used to speak that way. 5 years ago, we had this conversation. You didn't hear me speaking like this. It was more like, I hate this guy, and I'm gonna make sure that, like, it was, because I didn't understood why me being like always being this great person and mother and everything, I get this be in that situation, like it was a question. I said, why? And then now I see it clear, and that's why it doesn't hurt anymore to understand it, to get to that point to understand is what give you that peace. But it's hard, and it was hard process. But I'm glad that I went through that experience. Is that maybe I'm supposed to go through that in this life?
Well,
No.
most likely you were
Right.
supposed to go through it because you
Right.
needed to learn whatever you needed to learn, and you needed to learn to let
Yes.
go, and you needed to
let go,
learn lessons
to
in
forgive them.
forgiveness, yes, and all of it, right? So,
I didn't know.
Boundaries.
I'm not religion, so
Yeah.
I didn't have that guy. I know when people are religious, they kind of tell you those things. You're supposed to forgive, and
Yeah, even religious people don't get these lessons.
they don't even get it, right?
You have to, this is the kind of stuff you have to go through it in life. You can't read it in a book and learn forgiveness. It just doesn't work that way.
It doesn't. That word goes in and out. You just have to live and get there.
Yeah.
I'm glad that I got there, because some people don't get there.
Yeah,
Some
many
people,
Some
people
people
don't.
choose to be right about it, and they're the victim, and the other guy was
Yes.
the bad guy, and they're
Yes.
going to tell that story, and the story's going to
They
get
always
worse and
point
worse
there.
over the years,
Yeah.
and
It never
okay.
ends, and then you
Yeah.
die.
And no one
Exactly. And then you
nobody-
die.
And then you're like, oh my God, I have to go back again.
I got to learn this
Right.
lesson again in my
I
next
didn't,
life.
right?
No.
I was going to say, that's why you better work through all that you need to
Oh
work
my
through in
God,
this
better
life, so
work.
you don't have to come
I
back
wanna-
with the
I
same
wanna-
story again.
I want to graduate with A+ in this university, and I'm out of here. Please don't ask me to go back again. I don't finish anything, but I will finish this.
That's right.
This definite. This lesson.
Yes. So Liliana, tell us about the time you took a chance for love. And it's not necessarily romantic. When did you take a chance for love?
Well, the first love, or more like when I learned what love might can be. Because the first love,
it's not necessarily romantic love.
it
It
can be any kind of love.
Any kind of love, yes. When did you take a chance for love?
I think when I have my kids, right? That would be, I feel like that's the most powerful love that I ever felt, and I feel. Nothing compares to that. And it was easy to take a chance of that because it's unconditional. But to someone else to take a risk that I don't, having your kids is different because you have them and it's just you in there. But with somebody came to your life overnight and take a chance. I think I took a chance with my best friend. She's like you two. I had this best friend, and that is something that I feel safe to take a risk, because I know no matter what, she's never gonna hurt me. She's, since I met her when we were 18 years old, and we met in Margarita Island. That's where I used to live. And when we met, we connect. It was like we know each other forever. It's like comfortable from day one. And we work together, and after work we hang out together. And then when I moved to United States, we kind of disconnect. But we can pick up a phone one time a year and we can talk. Like we never disconnect. It's like crazy. It's weird. Like we never say, "Oh, why are you having to call me?" No, we don't need it. We understand. We always understand our life, but we know that we have each other. No matter if we don't even talk. It's just a weird thing. It's not. You don't get that normally. Not even if you're dating somebody. If you leave that person for a year and don't talk to him, he's gonna be like, "Wait, I thought we broke up." But with this friendship, you never break up. We always, love each other, connected. And she's my best friend, my sister, like sister I never had. And then uh, when I find out that she broke up with her boyfriend, I bought her a ticket, and I said, "You're moving here." And you marry somebody and you live near my, like that's it. We just, and then she was like, okay, I'm ready to. And we still have the same, we never fight, we never fought once ever. We like, it's crazy how you don't have an argument with anyone. I can have an argument with my kids, my family, but no, with her, it's like we respect each other on that level that if we have difference, we just listen it, but we don't we don't hurt each other in any way, not even speaking. It's like we are very careful with our friendship to never damage or never break. So I took a risk in that relationship.
So
Like,
special.
yes. And then I feel like it's never, no matter what, no matter whatever she does, break. I don't know why. I feel like she even says, maybe, because I always say, I want to meet my soulmate. And she goes, maybe I'm your soulmate. I'm like, no, it's not the same. You're my soulmate as a friend,
With
but
soul
not
sister.
my soul sister, my boyfriend.
Well, who says that the soulmate needs to be,
I know,
you
but
know?
An intimate
yeah,
partner. Yeah.
right. We don't.
Yeah,
No, soulmate, that can be anybody, right?
absolutely.
Right.
Agreed.
Yes.
So Liliana, what would you say your superpower is?
Uh, my superpower. Hmm. I'm perfectionist. I guess
Ooh.
that is makes that can, like, say when I do hair, that's my superpower because I can make something perfect. Very perfectionist.
Mm.
I'm like, that can be my superpower. And what I, when I use my hands or whatever. But my friend says to me, "You're a witch," because because sometimes I call them and I say something and they go, "Oh my God, how you know?" Like I always like, I don't know, and I feel like I have some kind of power, telepathic, like I know things friends are thinking or they're going to do, and then I call and I say something like, they always call me, "You're a witch, you're a witch." So that's a different power, but I don't know if because
It's a
we're
great power. I actually have to say I have that one too, and people call me a witch all the time.
really
I just think about clients, and then next thing they pop up on my schedule, or they
right.
call, or they text. Yeah,
Yes, and
but
I had that in my
it's being
salon.
connected. That's once again being connected to the
Way
collective
connected.
consciousness, and
Yes.
not just to the physical world that we're living in. You'll be way more attuned to that stuff.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's what it is. We're connected.
For
Yes.
me, it's the other way around. Like I called them and they said, why did you know that I needed something? Or I was actually just
Ah,
thinking about you, or something like that. I was like, yeah,
that's interesting.
Hmm.
I like that too.
Good
yeah.
stuff.
So, Liliana, if you had a magic wand
Hmm.
and you could give people any quality, what would it be and why?
Well, I want everybody to wake up, going through the spiritual awakening that I went through. I feel like if everyone can wake up, the world will be in a better world because you it would not be dominated by the metric anymore. And I think the world would be better because daily we are destroying the world in so many levels. And then I feel like that can change. It's so powerful. It will become more together. We become more one. And that's better than anything, to go back to be one again. I don't know if we ever been one, but it will be a beautiful world to be if that's possible.
Yeah, I agree, Liliana. I feel like
Hmm.
are we just keep creating more and more separation
My
in our
separation.
society, right? It's men versus women and black versus white and Democrat, Republican and rich,
And
poor. Like we just
religion,
keep creating more and
religion,
more separation when really we need to be celebrating what are the things we love about each other, what are the things we all have in common, and that's
exactly.
that's where we need to be going. And that's why we're here, right? That's the whole
Yes,
purpose. So
yes,
yeah.
that would
Yeah.
be a beautiful thing. Yes, and I say that all the time. And I say, and I talk to the moon.
Mm-mm.
Why can when I want to be here when if that ever can happen, if that can happen, or I don't know, it would be
Yeah.
nice.
So Liliana, what are you most proud of?
I'm proud of being a good person,
Mm.
even though a lot of people took advantage of me growing up. But you learn and understand that don't hate. It's just like okay, different people, different behave, and nothing you can do. But I'm proud of being a good human being, and I always been. And I'm glad that all that experiences didn't change that for me,
Yeah.
not make me like angry and hated towards them for for all those experiences. I had good, great experiences being a good human being. I have been, not being hurt back, but some people, for some reason, they take advantage of that. And special closest families and friends, the one that you never guess can be possible. And that was painful. But they never changed me, which I like. And I still say, you know what, no matter what, I'm not going to change. But now I'm more aware who is who because I learned who. Now I'm not going to be taken advantage to because now I know differential of people and behave, which I didn't know back then. I wish I knew. And now I know who I can, you know, be careful not to do that to me. But I'm not gonna stop being a good person because of them. Because they're going through their whole thing too. They're not bad either. There's no bad people. They have to behave. I don't know. They have to act certain way in this life. That's a question. I have so many questions after I die, to ask. So many questions. I write it down. Yeah. But being a good human being is the answer.
I love it. And I love when you said everyone is beautiful and everyone's a good person. It's just
Yes.
such a beautiful way to look at life. Um,
Yes. I look everyone like that.
yeah.
Because I look it through their soul, just I know how they came through the baby, and there was a nice pure soul, and then just has to. I was one too. I was so controlled and dominated by things. It wasn't me. I would just go along with the flow, And if I every time I remember, I'm like, oh my God, what a wasted of time. But then I say, okay, it was an experience, and then that's how I answer and move on. But like I see so many people like, they're doing things, kill people and shooting people and hurt people. I don't watch the news, but for some reason in this salon I get every news. All my clients keep me update with news. And what I'm thinking is like they're all innocent. They're being controlled by things, manipulated by things. They're mine, but then they're all a bunch of kids. They were kids once, and then they were not them. They become this. Like to me, there's no one is guilty. I don't know why I look at it that way.
Well, I
It's
think it's go ahead,
it's
Martina.
it's a beautiful way to look at the world, right? Byron Katie will say that like it's your thoughts that cause the mischief, right?
Right.
the person per se is innocent, but it's our thoughts that tell us that we need to go kill a person. So it's
Right.
our thoughts that, like the thoughts
Right. They've
have,
been
right?
controlled and manipulated, but there's
Yeah.
not them.
So can we, like, we don't live in a world where we learn to manage our thoughts and to control our thoughts and to,
Right.
so
Some they're not
they
capable
just,
of.
the people just believe their thoughts. They believe
Right.
that the thoughts are
They're,
true.
and that's why they're here to learn
Yeah.
that, and then maybe not to get to that point of and choosing, should I kill somebody or not? And they're not strong enough, or I don't know how to call their mind, but sometimes I feel like that could have been me,
Yeah.
being controlled and manipulated by my thoughts. And I my whole life, with my ex-husband, I always control my thought, but I feel like I think I'm lucky that I born with such a stronger personality. That like when I say no, and but some people don't, and that they were easier to kill somebody, and they regret it later.
Yeah.
I it's just they're all innocent, because I just the way I look at it, just I guess one day it will end it, but and I guess that was the purpose of come here, to go through the experiences and live it,
Yeah. Yeah, that's why we're here. We're here
right,
to learn, or to teach,
Bro.
to
right,
grow, or to everything together, right?
right.
So Liliana, let me ask you this, because I didn't ask you before. So we're at the end, right? It was the last question. And so, do you want to give out your information, so when people want to find you, look for a hairdresser here in this area,
Yeah,
or want to do bridals? So do you
yeah.
want to tell us how people can reach you?
Well, my Instagram, my the name I have it's under Liliana Mouttet. My Instagram, Liliana Mouttet, and but the name is Bridal Hairstyle Hairstyle Bridal Hairstyle 9. That is my Instagram. I
So
can
we're going to
send it.
include all that information with the
I
notes for
can
the
send it
podcast.
to you. Yes,
Yeah. So if people want to
yes,
look for it, we'll include that in the notes.
yes. Thank
Yeah.
you, girls.
Very good. And just thank you so much for being here. It's such a,
Oh, thank
I
you.
always, I always get so, Christina knows this, I get so excited when I get to go to the hairdresser and to hang out with you for an hour and to
I
just
know,
chat.
right? My boss always like, why it takes you so long? I'm like, stop.
And deep
It takes
dive
me an
into
hour, this
topics.
haircut. I'm like, no, just enjoy talking to you. It makes
Yeah.
me feel like normal.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
all day I have to, there's so much I can say. I cannot be so open, and, because everybody has their own thing. And
Yeah.
with you, I can be comfortable and
Yeah.
tell you everything is in my brain.
Yeah. Yeah, I know your boss every so often looks
I
so
know.
like, okay,
Yes.
still here. I'm like, yeah, still here. So thank you so much for being here. It's always a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you for having me and inviting me.
And just for you people out there, just thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. If you love this, please leave us a review. Please share with your friends. Please tell your friends about this. We all need some inspiration, a little bit of inspiration here and there. And then go check out Liliana's Instagram. And the other thing is that if you want to find out more about us, our Linktree profiles are in the notes as well. Okay. And please always remember that you are extraordinary. You rock. Until next time.
Okay.
Bye for
Bye,
now.
girls. It was nice to meet you.
Same here, Lilia.
Christina. All right, girls.
Thank you, everyone.